unique bosses in 2D Mario games are honestly hard to come by. However, that is until we look at New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS. This game brought us cool new gimmicks, level designs, enemies, and of course bosses. Now, most of the 2D Mario games reuse a lot of the bosses, Koopalings. So today we'll be looking at the unique bosses of New Super Mario Bros. Now, one I'm not gonna mention too much is Bowser Jr. because pretty much in every world he's like the mini boss in each of the towers. So it's basically the same fight like 8 different times. But there is this one cool one where the platform is like moving, but yeah. Okay, now first up we have Bowser. Now, of course, Bowser isn't a unique boss. He's been there, he's always gonna be there, but this is important. At the castle in World 1, you'll run into Bowser. Now, he'll jump up and down, shoot fire at you, and you actually have a little platform you can use to jump over him and press the switch. When you do this, Bowser will fall into the lava, and as he tries to claw his way out, you'll see his skeleton and somehow his hair is still there too. And this is important for later on, so don't forget that. Now, in the World 2 castle, we have Mummy Pokey. He's pretty much just a mummified version of a Pokey. Honestly, has a really cool design. He'll spit out these like rocks or something. I don't know what they are, but he'll spit something out at you, and he'll occasionally dip underground, and at times he'll come up, but not all the way, so you actually have a chance to reach the top of his head to jump on him. A lot of bosses in this game only take 2 hits. I don't know why, but I mean, I guess that's a small price to pay to have cool bosses in the game. I don't know. Now, moving on to the World 3 castle, we have Cheap Skipper. Now, he's pretty much just a big old fish that's trying to eat you, right? You'll spawn in a kind of normal castle arena thing, but underneath the stage, there will be water, in which that's where he sits. Now, Cheap Skipper will try to jump out of the water at you, and you pretty much just have to jump on his head, time it right, and it's honestly not too hard. The other normal Cheeps, they'll also try to jump out of the water and do damage to you, but honestly, it's not too much to overwhelm you. Just time your jumps right and you're good. Moving on to the World 4 castle, we have Mega Goomba. Now, I don't know why, I just think that's a really cool name. Other than that, man, he's literally just a big Goomba. Now, the battle stage will have a few crevices in the ground for you to kind of crawl into and let him walk over so he can't hit you. And there'll also be a switch in the middle that'll spawn these platforms on the sides that when you stand on them, they'll rise up and give you a chance to actually jump on top of them. I could be wrong, but I think you do have to ground pound to be able to damage him. Honestly, whenever I play this boss fight, I automatically ground pound each time because it's satisfying. And it's just satisfying to use that ground pound and just feel the power behind it. Moving on to the World 5 castle, we have Piranha. Now, a lot of people don't like Petey. I don't know why, but he's one of my favorite characters. I think he's one of the coolest characters in the Nintendo universe. Nonetheless, this ain't about me. Once you run into this guy, Bowser Jr. will jump on him to wake him up, and he'll just immediately start flying in the air. After going back and forth a couple of times, he'll swoop down at kind of an angle to try to get you, which makes it a little bit harder, honestly. But in doing so, he will slip on the ice and fall, and then that just gives you an easy shot to jump on him. If you've made it this far into the video, leave your honest opinion about Piranha down in the comments. Now, in the World 6 castle, we have Monty Tank. Now, honestly, of course, every other boss in this game is pretty cool as well, but Monty Tank was the one that when I saw him as a kid, I was just blown away. I was like, wow. I mean, you're fighting against Monty Mole in a tank. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that, especially in the 2D games. So, he'll throw bob-ombs at you. He'll also shoot out bullet bills from the tank. Still though, it's not too hard of a fight, but it's just really cool. That's what this video is about, right? The unique bosses. You know, these bosses are a lot cooler than fighting the Koopalings 8 times, right? Nonetheless, after each hit, the tank will get a little bit taller. It'll shoot out more bullet bills, stuff like that. Still, you just gotta jump on them 3 times and you're good. Now, for the World 7 castle, we have Lacku Thunder. Pretty much just a Lacku. He has a thunder cloud, and yeah, he can shoot lightning at you. Honestly, he has one of the coolest designs in the game, in my opinion. I just think You know, his shades are cool. He has a cooler looking cloud. He has like a black shell or like a grayish black kind of shell. I think he has a really cool design. He will throw spinies at you, shoot lightning down, and pretty much he'll swoop down every so often and you'll have to time it right and jump on him then. Yeah, I mean, he goes down in 2 hits, unfortunately. Nonetheless, a really cool boss in my opinion. Now, on to the World 8 castle. This is where the first Bowser fight comes into play. As you run into the arena, Bowser Jr. will jump out the way and Dry Bowser will fall from the sky. Now, I guess Bowser Jr. somehow got Bowser's remains out of the lava, brought him back to life somehow. I don't know. Nonetheless, it's actually a really similar boss fight. He'll jump up and down, shoot fireballs at you, except of course, he's basically like a dry bones enemy now. You can't damage him with the fire flower. You can't, you know, can't do anything like that to him. Pretty much either have to time it to jump over him or wait on him to jump high in the air and run over him at the perfect time. I mean under him, run under him at the perfect time. And again, as you make it to the switch, he'll start to sprint after you and you know, you just have to hit the switch, floor will collapse and he'll fall down. Now after this, there's a second castle in World 8 in which the boss fight is actually you versus Bowser and Bowser Jr. Now this one is a little bit different than the other ones. Let's start with Bowser Jr. Now, you actually can't jump on his head this time. If you get close to him or if you try to jump on top of him, he'll go down into his shell, and of course if you touch the shell you'll take damage. Now what he'll do is throw green shells at you and you have to time it right to jump on him and throw him back, to which then you can jump on him and damage him. He'll go down in 2 hits and then you're just left with Bowser now. This time around Bowser shoots a lot more fire and he also has like some homing fireballs. I don't know. Nonetheless, it's still a similar concept. It's just, you know, of course harder to dodge all the fire. Still though, he'll do that high jump and you just gotta kind of time it right, sneak up under him and hit the switch and save Peach. I do feel like it's a little bit underwhelming, but honestly it's still really cool for what it is. I mean, you're fighting both of them at the same time, so you know, you can't really go wrong with that, honestly. But yeah man, I really just wanted to talk about these bosses real quick because I was thinking of video ideas and I remembered this game. I was like, oh, this game brought us some cool bosses. It was actually very cool at the time when I was a kid to play this game and experience all these bosses for the first time. And even though at the time it had been a while since they released a 2D Mario game, it was still kind of surprising to see that they added these unique bosses, honestly. Nonetheless, man, if you stuck around to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, go ahead and hit that like button, you know, it helps out a lot, you know. If you want to, you can hit that subscribe button too. Nonetheless, man, I hope you guys did enjoy and y'all have a blessed day.